Heck yeah. It cycles great. Clear this thing out here. And that's hot, just like I thought it would be. All right, hold on here. I'm gonna get my mic back. So I'll put a few not on target. Welcome back to the peer review. I've got a great one for you today. This will be the first time I'm actually pulling a comment out from a video, a reel that I had made, or a short as YouTube calls them. So one of my hopefully subscribers commented and said, why don't we see a full review on this thing? Referring to the Volk-S by Meridian Defense that my wife actually owns. So this is my wife's gun. Yeah, my wife has cooler guns than most of you guys. But this is the Volk-S by Meridian Defense. Topped off with the Silencerco suppressor here on the end, which we'll get into a little more, but you know, a little quick detached suppressor on a pinned and welded brake that comes on the gun, at least on this specific model it did. So let's dive into a little bit more on this gun and exactly what we have here. So this is a 14.5 inch with a pinned and welded brake on the end, so this makes it a 16-inch barrel legally. We have the I'm gonna forget the name of this suppressor because I'm so used to the 46M that I have. We'll get back to the suppressor. I don't remember the name of this one, but this suppressor she actually got with this rifle as a package deal. I put the scope on there, which I'm running the Vortex 1-6 for a Viper on an ADM mount, the Recon mount, with a Midwest Industry side mount bracket thing there. Don't even remember the name of that. So admittedly, guys, I am not an AK guy. I am an AR guy, a pistol guy, even a shotgun guy. So most of my shooting is in multi-gun. But this thing is freaking amazing, and it has changed my mind on AKs. And I'm not going to say that I'm an AK guy yet, but I'm this AK guy. So this thing is so much fun to shoot. I actually went and competed at Kalashnikon this last year using this rifle because I wanted to have like a full test of this thing before I did a video, which is why it took me a little while to make this video, hence the comment about when is a full review coming of this rifle. So I have a couple thousand rounds to this rifle now. Admittedly, they are all, you know, decent quality, all brass rounds. So this is some Norma 7.62 by 39. I've also been shooting some Bellum, which is what I'm going to be testing it with today. I haven't tried any steel-cased ammunition. I don't own any steel-cased ammunition for this gun. So we will be testing it with the ammo that I have. And so far, it has been phenomenal. I did take this thing apart. I greased it when I first got it. Other than that, I threw this Midwest Industries mount, the scope mount on the side. I did buy the railed version so that I could put whatever optic I wanted to on it. I did go with a LPVO, so we went with the Viper 1-6, which did make me have to buy the riser. But the cool part is this does use the Magpul stock. So I was able to just buy this like clip-on AK riser. It worked out perfectly, got me through the match, and it's been a ton of fun to shoot here at our range at home. So I had a couple of problems when I first bought this rifle, all of them user error, and shout out to Meridian Defense because their customer service was like phenomenal, like better than I could have asked for. So I misunderstood their settings for the gas system, and I tried shooting it suppressed, and this is a lower back pressure can for AKs, so this has lower back pressure than traditional suppressors, but I adjusted the gas the wrong way and accidentally turned it to maximum gas, which is setting 6 instead of setting 1 for minimum gas, and put the suppressor on it and proceeded to try to mag dump it to test this rifle out. And of course it cycled until I broke it. So what I ended up doing is the recoil rod came back and just hammered home so hard it actually broke the lugs off the back of the recoil rod, which then took, you know, this and again, sorry, not an AK guy, but this plate that goes on the top, like the trunnion or whatever, So it broke that plate, or it actually didn't break the plate, it broke the recoil rod, which allowed that plate to pop up and got itself wedged between this scope mount that I put on there and the recoil rod that was then too far back and broken. So I had a nice little pickle that I put myself in. I was able to get it all apart and figure out what the issue was. I reached out to Meridian Defense. I let them know exactly what I did. I said, hey, user error, I'm an idiot. I broke my gun first time I took it out, made it through, less than one mag after this thing being brand new. And again, it's my wife's gun, so I actually broke her gun. So I needed them to bail me out of this trouble that I got myself in. And no questions asked. They said, yep, we've seen it, send it in, we'll get you taken care of. So I got brand new recoil rod, and this thing is running like a champ. Of course, in the email response back, he sent me the proper adjustment procedure for the gas system, which I do appreciate, because the first time that I read it, public school problems, I didn't read it properly, and I did not follow the instructions properly, and I broke my wife's gun. So this time, we have this thing turned down all the way to the number 1 setting, which is the lowest gas setting, and this thing runs phenomenal. Not only does it run phenomenal, with the adjustable gas system, which this comes on this rifle factory, so this wasn't something I had to add to it. This adjustable gas system has this thing shooting so soft. Normally AKs are, traditionally they're overgassed, which is why they always run. When you gas something that much, they're gonna cycle. It's not gonna short stroke. So I have this thing turned down, and you can tune it, honestly, without any tools. There's a little detent you can depress here. You can turn this thing just by hand. You can put this from anywhere from off. You can have no gas, which obviously then it wouldn't cycle. And then you have 1 through 6 on your gas settings. The standard that it comes factory is set at 4, which is straight vertical up and down. I have this turned all the way down to 1, and it is shooting so soft, so smooth, but it's still cycling. So shout out to Meridian Defense. They've got it right. They've got this thing tuned amazing and shooting awesome. They got me fixed up. They actually had, it was right before the Kalashnikov match that I broke it, and they had that recoil rod to me within a couple of days. They actually told me they would send it out before I sent mine back, and they did. I was able to receive it, fix it, and then get theirs in the mail to them. They just wanted to see exactly where the failure point was and what I broke, such and such. But again, that was completely my user error, and now I've got this thing running like a champ. A couple thousand rounds through it now, a full match through it, hopefully more to come. But again, not to say I'm not really necessarily an AK guy, but I might be a Meridian Defense Volk AK guy. So we're gonna dive a little more into it. I'm gonna put this thing on the table, show you a little bit of it, and then we'll get some shooting behind the camera here, let you see this thing run. So let's check it out today. Thanks, guys. So here it is, guys, the Volk-S by Meridian Defense. This gun was built as part of their Special Projects Division, and it was built with Silencerco for SHOT Show 2025, and this is a sweet package. So we have added the Midwest Industries scope mount with a rail, and an ADM Manufacturing Recon mount with a Vortex 1-6 Viper LPVO. Adding an LPVO, we added the top, the riser to make your cheek weld correct for a higher optic. And this comes with the Meridian Defense trigger, which is an amazing trigger, guys. I'm a huge Hyperfire fan. Everything I run has Hyperfire. I was gonna put one in this gun when I first got it, but I love this trigger, so I'm gonna leave this alone. I'll save my Hyperfire for another AK. So this has the Silencerco suppressor with the quick detach with their mount system there. So it has a fixed muzzle brake that is pinned and welded to this 14.5-inch barrel, making the overall barrel length on this setup 16 inches. A low back pressure suppressor, and a lot of options. So this has a sweet hand guard. It has the ability to add, M-lock down here. You can add a rail or ARCA, Picatinny, anything you want. You could add a bipod setup. It has a Picatinny rail with QDs already on the sides, so you can add sling mounts, such like that. Rail on the top. Some people put, different optics and sliding systems and such out here. You could do that. I won't be using that. That top rail probably won't be used for me, but it is very nice to have there. You could also, you know, put a laser on it, flashlight, something like that. So lots of options. One of my favorite parts about this gun is this adjustable gas system, which I have turned all the way down right now since I am running it suppressed, but super easy to use. There's a small detent on this side that you push, and then this thing just turns by hand. So this goes anywhere from off or low gas setting on 1, which is where it's at, all the way up to 6. Comes standard on 4, which would be at vertical. But that is such an awesome gas system, super easy to use, and man, does it make this thing shoot soft. So let's quit waiting and get this thing to the range. So I apologize, I didn't do my homework up front because I was more doing the review for the rifle, but figured I have to include the suppressor because for us, it did kind of come as a package deal. So what this is the low back pressure Velos by Silencerco. So this has a quick detach system. You can change out the back of this suppressor to take different mounts. They have, you know, like the ASR mount and other fixed, like you can make this a direct thread. You could make it fit on like a 3-lug. There's all sorts of attachments that actually allow this suppressor to work with. I have mine on their, I think this one's the ASR. This is their quick attach that fits the muzzle brake that came on this Meridian Defense. So I just wanted to get that out of the way, let you guys know this is the Velos low back pressure. So before we get this thing too hot to where I can't handle it, I wanted to show it off and let you see this thing. I'll bring it up close and let you really check this thing out. So there it is. It is a sweet suppressor, not very heavy, very clean, quick mounting system. And this is rated for 7.62, obviously. That is actually what it's designed for. This is designed for the AK, and I'm excited to let this thing rip. So let's get it out there to the range. So I'm just gonna run a few through this thing quickly off into the woods right here, and then I'm gonna turn around and put a few on the BC at 50 yards. I have some steel here a little closer than 50 yards, so I do not want to shoot out with a rifle that close. So I'm going to shoot just into my berm here past the targets, and then I'll turn around and we'll shoot some down at the BC silhouette, which is about 50 yards. And again, I'm going to go kind of quick over here in the woods just so you can see this thing cycle quickly and hear how quiet the suppressor is. And then I'm going to put some off here and there towards the 50-yard target. So let's see what we got. That's 4. I'm gonna turn around with the fresh mag. We'll put some down range to the silhouette. Still can't use that rock and rock. Actually had one not go off there. Light strike on a primer. All right, and it's empty, does not lock back. And then I had that one, I think it probably short stroked that one or something. I do have a light strike. Could either be where the firing pin, you know, hit it while the hammer was coming forward. If it was short stroked, again, I have it on setting number 1 on the gas, and I haven't shot it suppressed much until now. We actually just got this suppressor fairly recently, even though we got it as part of this package deal. Obviously had to wait, it was back ordered, so we had to wait for it to come in. And then once it came in, then we had to wait, obviously, for the process of getting a suppressor, which, as you guys know, is a little better than it used to be, but still a fairly lengthy process, especially because this one's in a trust. So it took a little bit longer. Some of the individuals are getting a lot faster, but we wanted it in a trust, so we waited the time. So I will adjust the gas system up to number 2, which is supposed to, you know, help with the reliability a little bit. I had this thing at the lowest gas setting without being off, so I actually didn't expect it to cycle near as well as it did. I'm actually really pleasantly surprised at how reliable it's been on the gas setting 1. So I'll turn that up to 2, It's probably warm because I'm sure that that gas system does get warm while you're using it. So now we're on 2. Let me make sure I didn't go all the way to 3. I want to do this 1 increment at a time because I want to be able to get the lowest setting so that it shoots the softest while being reliable. So we're on 2 now. I'm going to load up another mag, and I kind of want to do another fast rip towards my berm there, mostly because I just want to see it be reliable quickly on this low gas setting with the suppressor, because that's kind of my goal for this thing. So I'll load up another mag. We'll probably put like 10 or 12 in it. I don't want to rip through a whole 30 round mag into the woods, but we will put multiple 30 round mags through this thing. So I'll load up another mag, we'll put another rip on it, we'll see how it does on the setting number 2. Also maybe see if it shoots a little different, so if we feel this difference. On the gas system, I'm going to put a few into the woods on my berm over here behind these targets. Again, not going to shoot these targets because they're at like 25 yards. And then we'll shoot a 50-yard target over there. But I'm going to rip it through here, get my camera on my head so you can see it from my eyes as well. And we'll let her eat here. Again, not an AK guy, so I'm gonna fumble around loading this thing, and I could do the old Russian load here, but I don't do that enough to be good at it. So see how she does, do like 5 or 6 ripped here. And it cycled those good. Let's see if it picked it up for this. Yep. So I do feel a little difference. It's got like a little more drive back, but it's not that bad. The weight of the suppressor actually balances out to where it doesn't really have like a lot of felt recoil. Shoots phenomenally and cycles much better on setting 2. They did say that when you started with the suppressor to start on setting 1, see how it cycles, and then go up incrementally 1 at a time. That's exactly what I wanted to do. So we're on setting 2 and it's running very well. Again, I shot the entire match without a suppressor. We had to, as they called, you know, hump your gear the whole match. So my rifle had to stay on me whether I was using it or not. So it was a 2-gun match shooting my pistol as well. I did not want that hot Forbidden Popsicle suppressor to be smacking me in the leg when it was already 100 degrees out. So I did not run it with the can. I ran this thing unsuppressed, and this is actually probably the most I've tested this suppressor, because I put a few rounds through it the day we got it because I was excited. But I have a handful of other suppressors, so you know the excitement wasn't what it used to be when I got a suppressor. And I was still excited, and I love this thing. I've got great things to say about it, but it's not like I was out here just like mag dumping to try out my new suppressor. So this is actually some of the most rounds I've put through it in one day, and it's working out very well. The gas system adjustment has been very smooth. It's working out very well. I have a lot of good things to say about this thing. So I'll put a few more rounds through it here, make sure that I can get like maybe another camera angle, and we'll kind of get this thing back on the table and give it a little
5 or
more
6 ripped here.
And it cycled those good. Let's see if it picked it up for this. Yep. So I do feel a little difference. It's got like a little more drive back, but it's not that bad. The weight of the suppressor actually balances out to where it doesn't really have like a lot of felt recoil. Shoots phenomenally. I got a few more loaded up. I'm gonna put a couple on the BC over here and then a couple into my other berm over there, which I had targets over there, but we took them down to make the berm bigger. So I'm just gonna put them into the berm. So I got a few loaded up. We'll shoot a few more suppressed, and then I've got a couple I'll shoot unsuppressed. I'll have to go grab my ears for that. I've been shooting all the suppressed rounds without my hearing protection on, so this suppressor works phenomenal. She's empty again, doesn't lock back. Something I'm not used to, being an AR guy, but I do like that. My competition pistols don't lock back, so I'm used to it on that aspect, just not with my rifle all the time. So put a couple in it, let me go grab my ears, and we'll shoot it unsuppressed, maybe let it cool down a little bit before I grab that thing. I have a suppressor glove somewhere, but I don't feel like digging it out, so we'll let that cool off, and then I'll put a few. There's really not a lot to do on the unsuppressed side of things. but I'll put a few through it, that way you can see both sides. So, all right, so I got my walkers here. So we're gonna shoot this thing unsuppressed now. Again, this has the fixed muzzle brake, which is pinned and welded. It is the Silencerco brake, and I'm gonna leave the gas setting at 2, so I suspect it probably won't cycle all of these rounds, and it won't be a surprise to me. And then we can turn it up to the number 4 normal setting. But I'm gonna try it. I'm just kind of curious what it will do on the gas cycle, on the gas setting number 2. So I've got a mag already loaded, not all the way, but at least enough to do some testing. Throw my ears on, and let's see how she cycles on gas setting number 2. Well, it cycled all of them. So my guess is on a slow rate of fire, it's going to cycle all of them fine. I'm going to try to do a quick mag dump like I did earlier with the when it was suppressed on gas setting number 1, because my assumption is that the faster you try to cycle it, the more gas it's going to need to do so. Otherwise, basically what I did earlier was I outran the bolt. I will say it's on gas setting number 2 right now. I can tell the bolt is kind of sluggish compared to normal. So obviously without the suppressor, without that little bit of extra back pressure, it is going to run a little more sluggish. So I will bump it back up when I'm not shooting it suppressed, but I'm gonna try to mag dump like 5 or 6 real quick with the setting number 2 on the gas with the suppressor off, and just see if it will mag dump those quickly, or if it'll do like a short stroke situation like we had earlier when I had it on gas setting number 1. So let's give that a shot. All right, so again, I'm going to shoot it unsuppressed, gas setting number 2, and mag dump it into the berm here. Not on a target because I'm too close to a target that way, and see if shit runs. Well, it does run, even shooting it fast like that, so surprising. And that's the whole what I had loaded. So gas setting number 2 runs suppressed and unsuppressed surprisingly, so that's pretty cool. So I mean, I would probably still turn it up to maybe even 3. I'd probably run it on 3 if I were to run it unsuppressed at like a match or something, just for increased reliability. But it shoots soft on 2, and it cycled pretty freaking fast, so I'm not upset at all with that. And it did run very well suppressed on setting number 2. So man, this thing's just been awesome. I actually haven't greased this thing for like the past 400 or 500 rounds. Like, you know, it's not as dirty as I thought it'd be. I really thought this thing would run dirtier, but again, I'm running a little better ammo probably. I'm not running like surplus ammo or steel case or anything like that, so that might help. But man, this thing's been running great, so it's been a great rifle. If you guys have any other questions, any other things that you've seen in some of my videos you want more review on, just let me know. Maybe comment, like, subscribe. Guys, please, let's grow this channel. I'd love to get this a little more exposure and try to get some more content put out there. I'll try to be better about making videos more often. But please, guys, give me some likes, follow, subscribe, share, all of the goodies. And again, Meridian Defense, Volk-S, and 7.62 by 39.